Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome in to the FC podcast. It's season 2. We're back after a small break. It's Killer Gunny 132 with my partner in crime, Toast 78901. How was the break for you?
Horrible.
Horrible. Why was it horrible?
Horrible.
But why was it horrible?
That will be discussed later.
Okay, it was horrible because we don't know yet. But it's good to be back. It is the start of season 2 here. Altogether we've made 15 episodes. I think this is now officially the longest running podcast in FC history, which is very cool. But yeah, we were gone for 2 weeks, took a break between peacetime because there really was nothing to talk about. So we decided to take a little, take a 5 or a 2 week, I don't know.
Also because it felt kind of weird starting a new season and just going directly into it.
Here's a new season, doesn't feel like it though. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna change much, as far as content is concerned. Just the second season because we want to feel cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's jump into some FC news. First of all, you probably know this already, but we're gonna say it anyway. The war, the third Halo 4 war now has a start date. It will be August 18th. So, be prepared for that one.
I know how I'm preparing.
How are you preparing?
I'm slathering myself and all of my weapons in peanut butter.
Why peanut butter?
Well, see, the hope is that the other team will be so attracted to the smell of the peanut butter that they will all flock to me, and then I'm going to blow myself up taking all of them with me.
Since when do people, flock to peanut butter?
It is a well-known fact that Imperial scum flock to peanut butter.
Dogs like licking peanut butter.
Exactly. And what are dogs?
Canines?
You're supposed to say, hounds.
Hounds?
Hounds.
Anyway.
I lost where I was going with that one. I sound like Blackhawk now.
Yeah. You'll realize what that reference is to later in the show. In other news, we have some very awesome events going on this peacetime. This is probably the most active peacetime I've ever, seen in FC.
You say that every time there's an active peacetime.
First of all,
in my entire career, this is the most I've seen. It's really? Because the thing you saw just 2 weeks ago was the most you had ever seen.
Well, I mean, it just keeps getting better. That's part of the point. But anyway, first of all, we have Blackhawk heading up the FC All-Star events, which is really cool. There are a number of events. Some, by the time you're listening to this, actually, by the time you listen to this, they've all been played. So it doesn't matter, because this is being recorded before that. There was the FFA tournament, which by the time we were recording this has already been played. The winner, that was Goozy Style, of course. Then there was the 1v1 sniper tournament, which was also won by Goozy Style. And then there was the, All-Star 2v2s, which was won by Goozy Style and his partner, who I don't have in front of me. No, it was Goozy and Unfolded Freedom.
Yep.
So Goozy has won all the currently played All-Star events. Now the ones that have been played by the time of this recording are the FC Old Timers game, which I'm a part of, which is a pretty cool thing. It's gonna be a bunch of 8v8 maps, played by a bunch of veterans in the wars, and Goozy is also playing in that, so he might win that one. And then also it's the headliner of the FC All-Star events. It's the FC All-Star game. Each army will have, squads representing them. So let's go through the lineup actually. We're gonna start with blue. The starting lineup for the blue All-Star game is representing Legacy, it's Casual. Representing Animus, it's Punctual Puppet. It's Punctual Puppet. Representing Beyond Belief, it's End Dominator. Representing Blackguard, it's Sinister Wolf. Representing Second Nature, it's Alvear, aka Coagulation. Representing Violent Bite.
That's who that is?
Yeah, he changed his name.
Holy shit, I didn't know that. I was looking at it, I was like, I've never fucking seen this name anywhere ever on the forums. Everyone else I've seen, I've never seen this guy.
Yeah, he kind of changed his name without telling anyone. Anyway, and then representing Violent by Design is Xenocide. Representing Lost Remnants is Nicholas Sapien, and also representing Lost Remnants is our very own Toast.
Which no, I won't be.
You won't be? Then this post is wrong. What is this?
Yes, it is. I found this out just a couple minutes ago while I was looking at things. I was under the impression I had my dates fucked up that the 11th was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out it's Sunday. I'm going to be out of town on that day, so the backup, who is, I believe, either Urias or Adrian, one of the two, is going to take my place.
It looks like it's going to be Urias or Adrian, I'm not sure, so we'll put those on there. And then the bench will be Highlight, OCR Yeezus, Ominous Solace, Blaze, Be Brave Hunter, Urias or Adrian. One of them's going to start. And then there's Dark Whip. Now let's go to Red Army. Their starting lineup for their FC All-Star team, representing Dread Rogues, is a size 7 sandal. It's a great gamer tag.
Is that name correct?
A size 7 sandal, yes.
Apparently their forum name is Da Bomb. I'm hovering over and it's Da Bomb.
And then representing Sedulous is Hellbent Heretic. Representing Vanquish is Angry Beavers. Representing Default is Houdini. Representing Sparta is Anarchy. Representing Bellator, it's Getting Messy. Representing Red Watch November is Wesby? I don't know. Wasabi. Oh, there you go. Okay.
And then together. Berry Soap.
Representing Red Watch Romeo is Berry Soap. And then their bench is Hellspawn, Silent Arbiter 1, Zeke 2567, Zibbles, Clear Shot, Elite Tactics, Ghost Hammer, and Black Waltz. So those are your lineups for the All-Star game. It should be a fun festivity. Once again, by the time you're listening to this, it's already happened. But anyway.
Of course, we'll have one.
Yeah, probably. On it. And then another cool thing that's happening this peacetime, it's being headed up by Blaze, who also makes the top 5, which is a great thing. You should go watch if you haven't. He is running the Forerunner Conflict draft, the first ever, and basically what happens is people sign up, and there are leaders, or they're I guess, captains, and what they do is they choose their 4v4 teams. And we had a bunch of people come and sign up, and there are 7 teams. It's going to be a bracket-style tournament. So, first of all, let's go through these teams. There's 7 of them. The first one is Militant Bombers. It's headed up by Jumaji with Blaze, Demon Soldier, and Elite Tactics. Then there is UEG Harry DJ Style, sponsored by WBHA, headed up by Harry the Chin, with Goozy Style, Jamie DJ, and UEG Urias. Then there's Purple Urkel, headed up by Blackhawk, with OCR Uses, Reservoir, and Punctual Puppet.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to think about that.
Then there's Butterfly Commando Squad, with Methane, Houdini, Wasabi, and Sachi Uchicha.
Sachi Uchicha?
Then there's Dim Gym Class Kids with Be Brave Hunter, Enfolded Freedom, Wolfpack, and Lolich James. Then there's Cute Money with Highlight, Professor Blastoise, that awkward guy, and Ominous Solace. And then rounding out is Derpy Dinos with Kazol, Alvier, aka Coagulation, Silver Sleek, and Dark Whip 11. So Toast, first of all, looking through these teams, who do you think's gonna come out on top?
Well then, my vote is going to be on the Derpy Dinos.
Really? Okay, why?
On the grounds that I think that they're gonna come out of the gate so derpy that no one's gonna take them seriously. And since no one will take them seriously, they're gonna be able to strike where they need to and catch the other team off guard and kick some major ass.
That is probably the most expertise thing I've ever heard.
Expertise thing. That was fucking intelligent.
They're gonna be so derpy, they're gonna out-derp their competition.
Exactly. That's literally what it is.
Well, let me look through these teams here. Who I think is gonna win? I think I might go with Purple Urkel. Number 1, cause I like their name. And 2, because that's Blackhawk and Yeezus, and playing with them, I just know they're great players, they're great people, although Yeezus yells a lot.
Well, hold on. Here's my counter argument into that though. But you don't think Kaz and, Coag can take those 2 on?
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty even, because I've played with them all in Legacy.
So.
They're definitely like our strongest slayers and our strongest players in Legacy. And it should be fun to see those 4 just go at it, and then you have the other 2 rounding it out. But I don't know, I think Blackhawk and Yeezus would edge it out just slightly though. It'll definitely be a close game if those guys went at it. And then I think Cute Money also, because they round out pretty nice too.
They do. They've got Ominous and Awkward, who are both really good players, and they have Blastoise and Highlight. I mean, well, fuck.
Yeah, that's half VBD right there.
But then again, I mean, I'm also taking a look at UEG, Harry, DJ Styles, and you've got Harry and Guzzy, which are a pretty good team. Jamie's a rather solid player, and Urias is a very solid support player as well.
Yes, I agree with that, but it should be very fun. I know Feedback in Legacy, he's actually, like, making out a bracket, you know, like March Madness college basketball, people like to predict how the tournament goes by filling out a bracket. He's doing that, and that's a very interesting idea. But, definitely, Blaze has come in here and come up with so many great ideas. This is another one of them. And I love it. I love this concept of a draft. I think I might sign up for it next time. The only reason I didn't sign up for it this time was I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to go. But now that I see how it's going to go, I'm definitely going to sign up for it next time.
And I almost signed up last night when Blaze was looking for people.
Yeah.
And I didn't this time because I didn't know if I'd have the time to do it.
But definitely, I encourage anyone, the next time he does, I think it's this every peacetime, that you definitely sign up for it, because it's a great idea, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and on top of it all, it's a great way to play with people you probably never played with before. And get to know people in the community you've probably never known before. But yeah.
You get to show up and make friends.
Yeah, you get to show up and make friends. So let's move on. To round out this first segment, we're going to talk about the Salvation Army, and I know we like to throw it in your face every episode, but we do it to stay relevant.
Since we've been throwing it in your face, only one person has gotten a code so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have tons of them, even though no one's donating, but we still have tons of them. So if you
we
need
got
them,
a huge
apply for
wave
them.
of people that donated, and we were really, really thankful for that, and then no one has been requesting them.
Yeah, we have a huge database. I mean, I haven't gone through and looked at them, but I know we have a lot. So if you need help, like if you can't, afford an Xbox Live subscription right away, we'll give you a 2-week to help you out. Just fill out the applications and talk to one of us. We'll do it.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's anything else to say.
Yeah,
I'm getting tired of fucking talking about it.
So, I think that rounds out this segment. Do you have anything else to add to any of that, Toast, at all?
I want everybody to show up and watch me slather myself and weapons with peanut butter. But other than that.
Okay. So I think that'll wrap it up. We've got the Field Marshal interviews coming up. Stay tuned for those. Those are great. We recorded them before we recorded this, and you should listen to them. So stay tuned to the FC podcast. welcome back in to the FC podcast. We have our first guest for the Field Marshal special. Toast, who do we have?
We actually have the great and almighty Relapsive. Relapsive, go ahead and say hi to everyone.
Hello, FC community.
So, Relapsive, why don't we start off? Why don't you go ahead and let us know how old you are and, what your real name is.
I'm 18 years old, and most of the people that play Halo with me know me as Devin, and that was my old gamer tag as well, so.
Sweet.
Now, how did you find out about FC and when did you join?
I figured out through... I was actually playing Halo, and then I met up with Captain Poder, and he was in my previous clan, actually, and then he was playing with Metadust and Mythonian, and I joined him around Halo 3 about 3 and maybe 3 months ago. 3 years? Yeah, 3 years.
So Captain Poder was the one who really got you into it. That's interesting.
He was from my previous clan, so I knew who he was, but I didn't really talk to him too much, and I met Metadust and Mythonian, both of them were in Blue High Command at the time, so.
And Blue was your first army?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so knowing that Blue is your first army and all, why don't you go ahead and talk about your time in FC thus far, favorite moments, big things that you've had happen, accomplishments, etc.
Since I joined back in Halo 3, there was a new squad coming up, and they had to find a leader for it, and they separated 2 squads, so my leader was Dear Slim, and we were Delta Squad at the time, and then he eventually got banned for certain things I'm not even sure of at the time and point, because they never really talked to me about it, but then I was promoted to captain of that squad after 2 weeks of me joining the community, so I was a captain right then and there, and I started recruiting for my squad, and then I felt that my squad made a great contribution to the war, because I joined near the end of the Endless Halo 3 war, and my squad overall was like 37-3, so I think we did pretty well.
Damn. Those are definitely some great stats, especially for a squad and for, that many battles.
Yeah.
And what squad was that?
It was Delta Squad, and then afterwards, kind of the end of it, I switched the name to Nova, because Dr. Doom was pretty set on, having, army squads, like how we had Zulu and, Delta and Echo and such. So, we ended up being able to change it afterwards, since he didn't really care anymore.
And that was all under Blue, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, how did you get to Red Army?
I was still in Blue Army for the first couple wars of Halo Reach, and since then I was always in High Command, so like the first 3 wars of Halo Reach, 2 wars of Halo Reach, I was in Blue High Command, and then when Operation Firestorm happened, myself and Fuzzy and the rest of Resistance was transferred over to Red Army, as myself and Fuzzy were the creators of Resistance, so.
And then how did you raise through the ranks in Red?
Due to me being a leader of clans and actually being in FC for a couple of years, I was good friends with Fuzzy and knew the work that I put in, and then also just the work I did in the army as a whole with helping out with paperwork and whatever they needed as well, and helping with trainings and practices and whatever they needed. They saw me fit and they put me into High Command right away.
Nice. As we all know, Red definitely, I would say, kicked a lot of ass for last war. What do you attribute mostly to Red's success?
I think we were pretty organized in how everything was going. I was pretty proud of, Fuzzy did a great job and I was helping him out. All of our squads were pretty active. We did a lot of practicing. Goozy was definitely a good source of help. He helped us doing a lot of strategizing. He did a lot of walkthroughs for some of our lesser squads that didn't have the ideas of where to go and how to play through the map properly. So he definitely made a good contribution. So.
Okay, very good. Now, of course you were elected Field Marshal by your fellow peers in Red Army. Talk about the elections and how that whole process went.
They only lasted for around 4 or 5 days, that election, and it was myself versus Panic Fan, and it was pretty, I'm not gonna say easy, but it was a difficult thing because he was never in High Command yet, and he still had some time to learn of what's going on. So it was kind of a difference between the votes. I had around 70% of the votes while he had 30. So.
That's a decent margin.
Just about. So, who ran? Was it just you and who else?
Panic Fan.
Panic Fan.
So far, now that you are Field Marshal, is there any big changes you have in store for Red? Or you guys pretty much going to be operating on your same MO, or?
We still have some of the things that are the same. We changed up our high command, a lot of our flag officers, and with it, we got during this peacetime, we had Anarchy switch over, so he's done his thing, and Bellator came over as well, so I made some new changes to our structure, so we have a new company, and we'll see how that goes, and hopefully it does go.
Nice. Any secret Red plans you want to share with the FC community?
I think this war will be an interesting one. Let's just leave it at that.
I hope so.
Let's backtrack a little bit, talk about more of your past. Was there any single moment or thing that stands out to you in your time in FC, like a favorite moment almost?
During my first war, it was definitely a good bond I felt with with all Blue Army actually. I was good friends with Tango Squad, good friends with Echo Squad. Zulu helped us get better in our skirmishes, and I was good friends with all of High Command. I talked to Dr. Doom all the time, same with Mythonian and Metadust whenever he was online. So, I thought overall that war was a lot of fun, and I did a lot of the boot camps, and so I think I had the best presence there out of all the wars, even though I wasn't in High Command in that one, but it was still a very good war since it was my first, so.
Okay, how about your most frustrating moment in all of FC? Like the one where you just never want to relive ever again.
Definitely Operation Firestorm.
Yeah, okay.
That was one of the worst things just because it actually went through, as you guys know, so Fuzzy was the field marshal and I was his lieutenant general, and then we both got demoted to a squad leader, so he was a lieutenant and I was a second lieutenant, so seeing two of your highest high command members going down to the lowest of officers for no reason was pretty stupid, and not a lot of people enjoyed it considering that most of Blue Army at the time was resistance and that was all their officers, so.
How about favorite matches? Is there any, battle, I don't know, a capital battle or anything that sticks out where you just have this amazing story of this great match?
Let's see. There's always been some great matches, and the only battle that really sticks out to me was the Halo Reach High Command battle, and just because it was so close at some points, and then there's some points where it was just so far, but I just remember that at times Captain Nick, he was actually doing a lot of good work with that Wraith, and I remember him bombarding the other team, and he went positive 30. Hellspawn ended up coming in because Metadust got off, and myself and Mythonian and Dr. Doom were all doing great. And then I thought we were gonna actually win it, then the next game comes, and we ended up losing. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, let me guess, the capital battle was decided by 3 points in a Hill 30 match, as FC's normal MO goes.
It was Hill 30. I think the margin was a bit more than 3 points, but.
Okay, well, here's a question. It might be a little controversial because you are the Field Marshal of Red, but you've obviously had a lot of time in both armies. You just started out in Blue. You had a great squad there, and you came over to Red. Now you're Field Marshal of Red. In your time, which army have you enjoyed serving in most?
Let's see. That's a tough
This should
question.
be interesting.
I would have to say some of the things in Blue Army did get me upset, but the first war that I was in Blue was definitely a great one, but these last couple wars I've been in Red I think have been a bit better, just a lot more organized, and the people around me I think are just a better atmosphere as a whole, so I would have to say Red.
Okay.
Safe answer, but okay.
What did you expect him to answer that question with? Blue, I hate Red, I can't stand it here. Oh man, alright, so Relapsive, I guess now would be the time if you have any kind of shout outs you'd want to make, or if there's any message you want to leave the FC community with.
I'm just hoping to see that, the community does well and, we actually get to see Halo 5 and see where we go with this next generation of Xbox and everything else. I've been trying to work out to see what will be going on, but stay tuned for that. And, shout out to Silco's sister Amanda and Fuzzy's sister Emily. So, great ladies.
Oh man.
Alright, well, thanks for being on Relapse. It was great talking to you, and we aren't opposing armies, but I wish you luck in the next war.
As do you.
Alright, so guys, you guys have now heard it from Elapsive. Stay tuned. We're gonna take a quick little break real quick while we bring in our next guest, and you guys are gonna be able to be serenaded by the current Blue Field Marshal Blackhawk. That should be interesting.
Stay tuned to the FC Podcast. And welcome back in to the FC Podcast. It's time for our second interview of the show. Toast, who's our guest?
We actually lost the guest. They're no longer here. I thought we had a guest, but then they decided to run away and go and hide in a bamboo forest, unfortunately.
That's not good at all.
It's not.
This is how
we
people
were
get
going
fired.
to have the official FC Panda, Blackhawk on the show, but he ran away. I don't know if he's coming back.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I don't know. I hate that guy.
Oh, it seems he might be back and talking possibly in the third person.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Alright, so Blackhawk, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into this? Why don't you go ahead and let everybody listening know how old you are and what your real name is?
Well, I'm 20, and my American name is Chris Yao, related to Yao Ming.
Really?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can see the resemblance in your Skype picture.
Yeah. It's gonna become a new meme, that face.
So that's your American name, but what is your actual, Chinese name?
Oh, my Chinese name is Chris Yao.
It's gonna be those kind of interviews. Okay. Well then, let's get to the second question then. How did you find out about Forerunner Conflict, and when did you join?
I was at a strip club, and basically I was talking to Verboten Donkey, Quinn, and he was getting me all hyped up, It's there's this war sim community, you play a lot of Halo, so it'll probably be fun. So I'm like, okay. And this was happening while we were both getting lap dances, and it was pretty interesting, but it was a good time, yeah. So basically, Verboten Donkey got me into FC.
And
was there a second part to that question?
Yeah, when did you join?
I joined back in June 2008, I want to say. So I've been here for 5 years now.
And what was your first army?
I was with Blue in Blue Phoenix, like, after a week or two with being with Blue Phoenix, I became the XO with Mr. Waluigi. Best squad leader ever. Unlike Gunny.
Oh.
So I want to know, like, did Verboten try to recruit the strippers as well, or just you?
He did. They actually turned out to be, Loco Crazy. I don't know if you guys know of him. And Gunny, I could have sworn you were there too, but maybe I was wrong.
Well then, Blackhawk, why don't you just go ahead and tell us about your time in FC thus far, you know, major accomplishments, favorite moments, etc.
Well, like, my probably biggest accomplishment is I was able to open up a chain of laundromats along with nail salons, you know, trying to bring true, like, Asian culture into the FC community. I shouldn't say this, but I am starting my own underground egg roll business. Things are blooming right now, like, beautiful.
How much for like 6 egg rolls?
Hold on, let me just talk to my financial advisor and see if I can actually give out this information. I can? Okay. Basically, we charge like $3 per egg roll. People think that's overpriced, but our egg rolls are top quality, and we plan on to keep it that way.
Well then, everybody listening at home, if you want egg rolls, send Blackhawk a message, as well as some money via, I don't know, I'm guessing like a PayPal account.
Yeah, but they know me on the street as Pandito, so.
Pandito. Oh man. So how about your favorite moment in all of your FC time thus far?
I really like the close tiebreaker games that go down to last second. Probably the first Halo War that we did came down to like the last 7 seconds, and it got pretty intense, but definitely all the close games I've ever played. There was also a capture a flag game against Red Watch, I believe, and Red Watch actually beat us within a couple seconds of driving Kaz back to the base to cap the flag in overtime.
Yeah, I think I remember that. That was the end of the Halo 4 war on Ragnarok, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically beat us on a race to deliver the flag.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was so disappointed when that happened.
Okay, so if that's your favorite, then what is like, hands down, the one moment in your FC career you'd never want to live through again, ever?
Being in a squad with Killer Gunny. It's probably one of the most horrific things I've experienced in my FC career.
Why is it?
You do things that, like, no other normal person would make you do. And, like, I'm pretty sure I have PTSD after this. So. Does
he make you do unnecessary rifle maintenance and makes you piss in a cup tests?
That's the good part about being in the squad. There's a lot worse than that. Our therapist knows more.
Alright, well, let's change the subject a little bit here. You know, Blue lost the last war pretty handily.
What?
What?
We lost Blackhawk.
What the hell?
No?
Where was I?
Oh, okay, anyway.
Running for field marshal.
Playing with a panda. But anyway, what do you think contributed most to Blue's struggles last war?
That's kind of tough. I mean, towards the beginning of the war, I'd say our prep wasn't as good as compared to the war prior to that, but, that's probably it. I want to say we had a lot of, officer holes that needed to be filled, and it took a while to get it done, but towards the end of the war, we actually, started to do better. I don't know why you're laughing, Toast. It's me being serious.
Oh, hold up. I don't know why, but just hearing you say that there were a bunch of officer holes that needed to be filled, I was expecting you to be implying a sexual innuendo.
Should I just say giggity after saying that?
Yep. Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
It's gonna be a good interview.
I feel like I cut you off, Blackhawk, with my burst of laughter. Why don't you go ahead and continue with what you were saying?
I think I said everything. Basically, officer holes that needed to be filled, giggity, and like the prep for going into the war wasn't as good as the war previous. But towards the end of the war, we started to do things a lot better, and we came close to making a comeback, but it didn't end up like happening like that.
Alright, Blackhawk, so why don't you go ahead and let us know your experience with the field marshal election?
Well, it was between me and Nick. Honestly, Nick dropped out because of his future plans, but if he didn't drop out, he probably would have made marshal, so I'm just happy to be FM. Trying to organize things in Blue now. Things seem to be running a lot smoother.
Okay,
Would you like to thank the Academy?
Well,
Wait,
do you plan to change anything as Blue Field Marshal? Any major plans in the works?
Yeah, like I said before, the laundromats and nail salons, they're starting to go up. Like a Chinese buffet probably is my next step. You know, this would actually tie in with my egg roll business, so it would be perfect. You know, I'll be supplying them with the egg rolls. But nah, in all seriousness, just basically just like organizing things a lot more and, making sure we're functioning at our full potential. That's what I'm trying to do.
What do you feel that our full potential is?
Well, if Gunny didn't have tenure, I would fire him and then things would probably be doing a lot better.
I can see that.
Yeah, and if you guys think I'm being hostile towards Gunny, it's because he stole my girlfriend back in the 2nd grade. So I'm still pretty bitter about this. And, yeah, it's more of a personal thing.
It all comes full circle.
Her name was, Cassandra. You know? I actually made a song about her.
Did you?
Would you like to perform this song for us?
Would you want me to?
Yes. Yes.
It was in 2nd grade, so it was very inappropriate, so, you know.
It doesn't matter. I think everyone at home wants to hear your song.
I think maybe another time I will share this song. Yeah.
Oh.
It had a lot to do with Legos, though. You know that.
Do you have a thing for Legos, Blackhawk?
We had a thing for Legos. And Gunny exploited that.
What, did he take her to Legoland? Like, to steal her away?
Yeah.
Legoland.
Gunny, you told me you never were to Legoland, bitch. You fucking lied to me.
I went to a half-assed Legoland in Minnesota once.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright, getting back on fucking topic. Blackhawk, you're currently running the FC All-Star event. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that and explain to the viewers at home if they don't know what that is.
It's an event I wanted to do for a while. I think, it's supposed to be like a competitive, like, week of, like, couple of events, but I also want to put some casual things in there, like griffball and stuff, but that wasn't voted to be one of the events, and the events that did get voted in didn't have enough people sign up, so I had to change it to smaller, like 1v1s and 2v2s. But yeah, it's basically a week where there's a lot of competition, a lot of events where there's tournaments, and only the winner will be getting a Vcash prize of $10,000 each, and Guzzy ended up winning all 3 events, so he has Mad Bank right now. And there's also the Primers event, which is basically a bunch of events that are coming together and basically having fun. It's more of a fun event. I play 3 matches, and that happens actually tonight, but by the time you guys hear this, you won't actually, you know, this wouldn't mean shit. Thanks, Gunny. But, and then there's also, Blue versus Red All-Stars, where each squad has a rep, and they represent their squad, and they will do a best of 5, and then the winning army will get 16,000 Vcash, and they will use that to fund their army.
For those of you guys that are confused and you're thinking, well, it's already the 12th and what the hell's going on, this interview was done before the All-Stars. Oops. I let something slip, but it'll probably make things make more sense for you guys. I think a better question, Blackhawk, would be, are you planning on doing this again in the future?
Yeah, definitely. And like, I wouldn't say annual because wars don't end in a year, but after each war, probably this will happen.
Yeah. I think it's a great event to keep the community active during peacetime, because in the past we've had some really boring peacetimes. And like there's been nothing to do, and now it seems like there's a lot of things going on, like Goozies has his little tournaments going on, and all this stuff, and then you have the All-Star stuff going on. It's really cool.
FC draft.
Oh yeah, and the FC draft.
Yeah.
Purple Urkels.
So Blackhawk, you mentioned you weren't able to do the more chill stuff that you wanted to do, and people voted in some competitive. You thinking about maybe running a couple chill pieces of the FC All-Star event, maybe during this war?
During the war, I'm not too sure. I mean, someone else could probably run that because I rather focus on this being FM.
Yeah.
You know, doing my job. Gunny. Calling you out.
Yeah, is your first order of business removing Gunny?
What is this?
I tried, but he has tenure. It's really hard.
Who else would you like to remove, but unfortunately has tenure?
I would like to remove Cassandra as well from the face of the surf.
I'm assuming Cassandra this whole time. I'm assuming this is not only a running gag between you guys. I'm also going to assume that Cassandra is supposed to be Kaz.
No, it's not, but that's another story.
Oh. Did Gunny steal Kaz away from you as well?
Of course, he steals everyone.
Oh man.
Alright, well I think we've reached the end of the interview. Blackhawk, do you want to make any shout outs before we call this off?
Alright, I'd like to make a shout out to China. Yeah. PRC. People's Republic. You know? The Nike factories that are in China. You know? Adidas, Reebok.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just like Gunny did to Cassandra. Hey yo. Yeah, shout out Blue Army. Shout out to Harry the Chin. Hopefully that chin hair goes in. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I don't get a shout out. I feel offended.
Well, you are Blue Army. You're like, that's your nickname. Blue Army.
What am I, like the soul of Blue Army or some shit?
Yep.
Oh, well then. This is awkward.
You should be proud.
I will take it as a compliment.
Alright, well I think that wraps up the interview, so thank you Blackhawk for coming on. It was a
that
pleasure
an
talking
interview?
with you.
This was an interview.
This was an interview.
I try to make it as, terrible as possible.
Oh, thank you, Blackhawk. So yeah, Blackhawk, thanks for coming on the show.
No problem.
We will be right back after this break, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to be covering our listener mail and a public service announcement from our very own Gunny. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned to the FC Podcast. And welcome back into the FC podcast. You just heard two great interviews, which we enjoyed doing with the Red Field Marshal Relapsive and the Blue Field Marshal, the FC Panda Blackhawk. Toast.
I only count one interview. Like, we had an interview with Relapsive, and then we talked to Blackhawk about his ventures in making egg rolls.
Well, isn't that an interview though? Because we interviewed him. I mean,
well, fuck you. My standards are higher. I ain't a cheap bitch.
No, but it was great having those two on. I know Blackhawk's been wanting to get on the show for a while.
He was on the live stream.
He was on the live stream, but I talked to him about that, and he said that didn't count. But we finally had an excuse to have him come on. So thank you.
He kept asking to come on, and we kept saying you need a reason to, and he was like, "Well, 'cause I'm me." We're like, "That's not a reason. Like, you have to give us something." Now he did.
Yes. But now it's the final segment of the show, which means we're going to get to some listener mail. Toast. We only had one piece of listener mail.
Yeah, only one person loved us enough.
So how about you get into that?
And that actually comes from our very own Mr. the Adrian, one of our most avid writers in terms of our listeners. And it's entitled Pigeon Soup. Get it? Pigeon equals peace? And I don't even totally get that one. I'm gonna be fucking honest.
Fuck.
Anyway, his whole theme this time is peace, because it's peacetime. But anyway, he says, God, peacetime is over. Well, at least now as you read this annoying and frivolous listener mail, it is. And apparently, he wrote this right after having listened to the previous podcast. Unfortunately, no, peacetime is not over yet.
We have, I think, about a week more.
Yeah, we usually start the show a tiny bit early into the peacetime for the seasons, at least we plan to, on the grounds that we can get field marshal stuff out of the way.
Yes. Not bother them while they're entirely busy with war stuff.
Yeah. We get to talk to them and do things with them when they're not, like, stressed out of their fucking minds. He continues, hey, Toast, Gunny, and Cass. I heard Gunny referring to Poppy as Cass. Yes.
Poppy.
Papa
It's
Big
like a flower.
Hey, Poppy. His real name is Cassidy, and we do call him Cass. Anyway, he goes, first I want to make this clear. I hope you guys understood that I was kind of responding to Anakin's listener mail when I talked about why I would buy an Xbox One. That makes more sense. It would not have made as much sense if not. At first I was wondering who the fuck he meant by Anakin. Mm-hmm. And then I realized he's talking about Raz Vader. He's making a little joke there.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I get it now. I had to think about it. God damn it, Adrian, you make me feel stupid. And you're like not even in the US and you're making me feel stupid. I don't even know what that was supposed to mean. I'm gonna shut up and continue. He continues saying, I've had quite many paranormal experiences, however I remember few. Here's one that I remember. And he says that he was sitting alone in front of his Xbox, as always, playing some Halo, Reach, /4 or whatever. He was sick back then, but this phenomenon, similar stuff has happened many times before. He was deep into his game zone, and he suddenly heard some racket downstairs. It sounded like somebody had dropped something made of iron. He was home alone, so it was weird, and being a real dummy, he shouted, hello? As the words left his mouth, the racket stopped. He had to investigate it, so he coaxed his body up from the couch, scampered down to the kitchen where he thought the noise had come from, and he found nothing interesting, so he goes upstairs again. He says stuff like this happens almost all the time that he's home alone, and a couple hours after his mom had come home from work / whatever she was doing at the time, and she reports that an item is missing, and of course he gets blamed for it. That was interesting. This happens a lot. That's kind of cool.
I actually just remember what our last episode was about, because I kind of forgot, and it was the paranormal episode, and I'm kind of disappointed this is the only listener mail we got now. Because, we were supposed to be expecting a bunch of, messages or mail about ghost stuff, and it was like, nope.
I wanted a bunch of stories, and at least Yeesus getting pissed.
Yeah.
He talked to us in that party that one time. I got into a party with Gunny and Yeesus, and fucking Yeesus is like, hey Toast, next time you're gonna make a podcast, it's just gonna fucking waste my time with fake bullshit. Why don't you tell me up front? So I don't, waste my time.
Yep.
And I even called him out in the podcast. I knew that was gonna happen.
Yep.
I knew he was gonna say that. Anyway, in terms of things disappearing and you getting blamed for them, well, it sucks you're getting blamed, but I think the things that are disappearing are due to underwear gnomes, personally.
I'm not familiar.
You're not familiar with the underwear gnomes?
I'm not.
Well, then I will have to send you some secret documentation when this is done.
Oh, okay then.
I'm part of a society that watches over paranormal things in the world, and one of the things we watch over is the underwear gnomes.
Okay.
He continues saying, anyways, he has a question. There's only one question here, and he says, Gunny, when you performed that heinous act of choosing that hideous song made by Taylor Swift as a break song, He wants to note here that YouTube listeners won't totally understand what he's talking about here. Gunny picked a Taylor Swift song as one of our break things.
22.
Shut up. He wants to know if it was an act of irony, or did you actually like that song?
Well, I actually do like that song. I have that song in my iTunes. So I do like that song.
I had to go download it from YouTube to put it in. I said in the comments of the last episode, Adrian also asked it there, and I said no, that you very much enjoyed the song, that it actually happens to be yours and Spartan BH's jam.
Yeah, me and Spartan BH, who's in Legacy, sometimes we'll break out into pop songs randomly. That's kind of our thing, but yeah, for the record, it did start out as irony with that song. I did kind of like it in an ironic way, and then all of a sudden it grew on me, and I was like, uh-oh. I can shake my groove thing to this, and then, you know.
You can shake your groove thing?
Yep.
Eli, you're white and don't have a groove thing. Anyway, he continues here making fun of the song, and he says the line, we'll dress up like hipsters and make fun of our exes. Which his only response is, no, just no. No, just no. No, just no. No, just no. I'm gonna read all of these, by the way. It's no. No, just no. No, just no. No, just no. No, okay, I'm tired. He fucking says it like fucking 30 times. He continues asking a question to Cass, who unfortunately isn't with us right now because of the way that we had to record this show. Do you think there's any way we could remedy that though, Gunny?
I could call him on my trusty iPhone. Do a special,
Okay, let's do that. We'll call in Cass and, just put the iPhone near your mic.
Alright. Calling him now to put on speakerphone.
Well, let's see if he answers.
It's not ringing. Uh-oh. Not this. Not again.
Like your phone isn't even ringing?
No, his phone sometimes doesn't ring.
Oh yeah, that's right, it's doing that weird fucking thing. If anybody knows how to fix that problem and has like a regular phone, like I don't even know. No, his is an Android, I don't know which phone it is. Let us know and we'll tell Cass.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. He's not gonna answer, is he?
Probably not.
I'm sorry.
Yep, nope.
The person you called.
So that's disappointing. So we can't answer your question. But that would actually be an interesting answer for him, because he did live in the Philippines for a year.
Yeah, he actually asked, where in the Philippines Cass has relatives. Yeah. Adrian's Filipino relatives live in, Cebu City. I don't know how to pronounce that. He says it's a wonderful place. And Barili, even better, he has a question mark. I'm not sure how to pronounce it either. I don't speak Tagalog. And then he says, sorry, I went to the Philippines when I was 11, so I don't remember all the names clearly. That's cool. I know that Cass stayed in Quezon City.
Yeah.
And he went to school there. He attended the college there. So, I know that. I know he has other relatives in different areas, but I have no fucking clue where they are. I know that they live in deeply jungled areas, as per his, paranormal story last podcast. Adrian continues saying, Toast, this is a question to me apparently. He goes, I don't really have any questions for you. Oh, okay. He goes, but, why are you so awesome? No, just kidding. Such knowledge is far beyond the grasp of humanity's understanding. By the way, that's totally not me hamming shit up. Gunny can attest that's literally what it says.
Yeah, I have the mail right in front of me.
I have just devoted followers. He asks how the Church of Toasters work and how if they're gonna meet up in Halo 4 or what. Dude, I don't totally know. That's so much like a back project. I have so many other things going on. I will eventually get that working though. He continues saying that now he's gonna go spend the next 3 or 4 weeks. I have to wait for the next war to begin reading Homestuck, so yeah. And then he has a picture of a P with a peace sign drawn on it, and he says, peace! Signs off saying P.
Funny joke is funny.
Troll-la-lol-la-lol-la-lol.
Yeah, it kinda sucks that Cassie wasn't here to answer that question though. That would've been interesting, but oh well.
Yeah, I kinda wanted to do like our first ever like phone interview on the podcast.
Like an actual radio show, call in, but anyway.
Yeah.
So it has reached the end of the, episode, but there is a special announcement I would like to make. Toast already knows this because I talked to him about it beforehand, obviously.
This is why when you asked how my peacetime was and I said horrible, this is why.
I kind of forgot you said that now, but now it's coming full circle anyway. I am announcing that I'm going to take my leave from the podcast after this episode that you're listening to. This will be my last episode in a while. I'm not sure if this is going to be permanent or not. It depends on what happens with my schedule and time. But basically, I start school August 24th at the end of the month. And I'm going to see what happens at the time, because I am the leader of Legacy. I run that squad. I do help with other things in the army. And that is kind of my priority right now when it comes to FC. If my schedule turns out to not be as time taking as I think it will be, then I might come back. But until then, I'm going to take my leave. It'll just be Toast here. And I know he told me he's going to be conducting interviews, and he's going to be conducting a search process for a new co-host.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main announcement is that I will no longer be on the podcast for a period of time.
So Gunny, and I'm gonna ask you right here. We're just gonna keep like an open door policy apparently with everybody. We'll just talk about it on air. I want to do an application process and find a new co-host, but you said that there is a possibility of your schedule leaving you available to do podcasts still. Mm-hmm. I'm like torn as to whether or not I should look.
I think you look, just because.
Okay. Just to be safe.
Yeah.
And then like, what do I tell him? Like, oh nope, Gunny's coming back. Sorry, buddy.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, fine by me. So guys, the application is going to be in here. I'm also going to make a separate thread. I'll probably just link it to that thread. Essentially, I'll just kind of sum it up for those of you guys listening so you already can tell if you qualify or not. You need to have Skype. You need to know FC, know the way in which things work. A third requirement is you can't be a dumbass. I'm putting that as an official requirement. Like you can be a Blackhawk dumbass, but you can't be like an incompetent dumbass.
Yeah.
Like I need to be able to count on you, especially since we're going to be doing things over Skype. I need to know that if we set a date and time for something, you can make it, kind of thing.
Be reliable.
Real life stuff happens, that's fine, but like, I mean, I need reliability and people that can actually do stuff. No offense to anybody out there. If you're lacking the I can do stuff requirement, I'm sorry.
Not interested.
Make you feel bad. And the other thing that I'm really gonna need is once I get a couple, well, hopefully if I do get a couple applications, I'm gonna want to meet with you so I can feel the chemistry, because essentially the way that I see it is the best way to have a good podcast is having co-hosts that have chemistry. For Gunny and I, that was simple. We've been best friends for 8 years now. The chemistry was not an issue. We can just go in and just talk. For somebody new coming in though, especially probably new to podcasting, new to the FC podcast, at least being on it, and just the way in which we're going to do things, I'm going to need to essentially decide out of the available candidates who I have the best chemistry with. So if you feel that is possible, and by the way, if you feel that you have differing views than me, you can still have chemistry. That's totally cool. Like, it would actually be nice to have somebody that's a foil to my opinions. But, so yeah. I think that's it. Alright,
well, I think that wraps up this episode then.
This sad episode.
Sad episode. The Field Marshal Special, the premiere of Season 2. I won't be on it, but I hope you listen to the future episodes. Good luck to Toast.
Are you gonna listen?
Yeah, I think I will. I still have them auto-update on my iTunes, so.
You think you're gonna listen? Thanks, dick.
Anyway.
I only, helped found it. Fuck it, now that I'm gone, I don't give no fucks.
Anyway, that'll close out the Season 2 premiere and the Field Marshal Special, and my final episode for now. So do you have anything else to say before we close it out?
Yeah. Spread the word that I'm looking for a new co-host.
Alright.
Apply if you see fit. Remember to spay and neuter your pets. Feed your children lots of green foliage to increase their iron supply in their blood. And check out not only the FC Salvation Army if anybody needs it, but also 2 things that I would like to throw out there as little shout out things. The RP is once again moving in full force if anybody wants to join that. The FC Roleplay, it's essentially a text-based real-time strategy RPG. It's a blast. You should come check it out. All you gotta do is go into the RP forums, which are on the main thing under lore and role-playing, I believe, is the main tab on the homepage, the home forum page. And, essentially you create a character and join a faction. The factions are the same as Red and Blue Army. And the second thing is, this is fucking awesome. I've been spending tons of time on it recently. Gunny, I ask you that you should totally join this. The FC Minecraft server is up. And Juggernaut, our very own Juggernaut, is actually paying for this monthly. I I know he's doing it out of his own pocket now. It'll probably come to donations later, considering that we have a decent amount of people on there. And yeah, if you guys want, just go ahead and get in contact with me or Juggernaut, or anybody else really that's associated with it. I mean, since you know I'm associated with it, you might want to come to me or Jugs. We can add you to the Skype conversation, and we can give you the IP address for the server, and you can jump in, you can have some fun with all of us. We're currently playing on Hexit, just letting you know. So that's within the Technic Launcher, mod directory. We're playing on Hexit, not vanilla Minecraft. So.
Alright. There you go. Nice information. So I think I'll close out this episode. Thank you for listening, as always, and I won't see you next week, but Toast will.
I will, and in the meantime, FC, definitely stay classy.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
That's the last time they'll hear that.